Greetings. I'm Steve Cook, Superintendent of Benton Pine Schools, here with your January 9th board meeting recap. Long meeting tonight. We just finished up. It's a little before 8. A lot of good stuff today to talk and share with you. We opened the meeting with district recognitions, and we had a presentation from Michelle Oakes, our mentor program coordinator, celebrating all of our staff, nationally board certified staff, and our teachers that are, nationally board certified teachers. We have 42 active NBCT teachers in the district, and that's out of a total in the state of 300. And so district is recognized in the state for being such a powerhouse for our number of nationally board certified teachers. And we had 5 either new or renewals in that group. We had Randy Johansson, Sarah Barclay, Casey Bullock, Christine Habel, Jenny Newell, and Elia Overcash. And so just really excited to share that work and be grateful to our teachers for that dedication. That is a rigorous program, and we're so proud of their efforts to maintain that certification. So shout out to them. Also, our next second recognition was the School Board Recognition Month. January is School Board Awareness Month, and just we read a formal proclamation declaring January that month and thanking them for the countless hours that board members put in to help us govern the school district. We had one member of our Student Advisory Council that did a report tonight, and that was Alani Adams from Summit High, and she talked about the work that they're doing to get coordinated on the cell phone policies across all of our high schools and their work with Eric Powell to get that better dialed in and more consistent across all of our high schools. We're very grateful for her report on that and how we're getting that tapped in. We had a lot of public comments tonight. We had 8 different folks who had public comments. Our first 2 were students. The first one was Michael Graham, demonstrated what some of our instrumental rentals look like. A really powerful comment from him and the fact that we probably need to be doing a better job of keeping those updated. Our second one was Brooklyn Hertz, who wanted to talk about some of her peers in her classroom and how they're struggling keeping regulated and what it's like to be a learner in that classroom. Powerful comment from her. And then we had several folks from staff talking about bargaining. Jennifer Lashley and Alicia Clausen, Sarah Barclay, and Emma Edgren all shared concerns about getting through bargaining and making sure that we were appreciating the value of our teachers and the work of our teachers and the time and commitment that they put in, and not just through things like recognition, but actually working on compensation and other things. And then last but not least, we had 2 folks, both David Welton and John Halen, both a part of the YIMBY group here in town, that wanted to let the board know they were in support of the MUPTI program, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. The consent for action went through without a conversation. Consent for information was just 2 reports from us, one about the administrative policies and regulations and EL 4.3 financial planning and administration. Those reports were both taken by the board. And then our last report by the board was a report from Julie Walker on what our next level for our curriculum adoption is. And that is for our English language arts curricula, and that we're going to be recommending that we adopt EL education for that for K-5. And she'll be back at February 13th after a presentation today to get that recommendation to the board, and that gives us this month to get some more public review and comment on that program. And so we're excited to see if our community engages on that. We had 3 action items tonight. The first one was the Early Literacy Success Initiative Plan, which, as you know, early literacy is a priority of the governor this year. We're one of many districts across the state that submitted our plan. They were due yesterday, and we got those submitted. If approved, we'll get about $2.4 million over this year and next year to do a lot of work focused on improving the results of our earliest learners to read. And so the board approved that. The second one was the annual comprehensive financial report. We got the highest rating you can get. Leah Bibeau presented that to our board, asked for their approval, and we got a lot of kudos with that. She did a nice job on that presentation. And then the last one was the multi-unit property tax exemption, which is a program of the city. And we proposed a resolution that was going to allow the city to, if as many of the program investments that they want to present in the TIF, which, if you remember, the TIF is the urban growth kind of area in the community, which we do not get property taxes for any of that anyway. And so we wrote a resolution, the board passed it. This resolution states that for the next about 18 months till June of 2025, the city can the city doesn't have to bring those back for our approval, which all taxing districts arguably should have to approve. And so we think there's about 4 of those that are going to be continued to go into that area. And so that also passed without any dissension. And then we had administrative policies. I brought 2 policies before the board for their consideration and just feedback. The first one is IKF, which is our high school diploma policy and graduation requirements. We're going to expand the terms of what meets the honors diploma. And so that's after many, many months, in fact, maybe even years of community feedback and public feedback on that. The other one was KGB, which is public conduct on district policy, on district property. More that actually comes from the conversation from previous month about whether or not e-bikes more specifically, can be illegally ridden to our elementary schools or middle schools by our students. And so that's now out for feedback, and there's a lot more to that policy. And so we're going to get community feedback on that for the next month. My superintendent's report included 3 things: celebration on the expansion of CEP, which is the program that allows every student in a school to receive free lunch and breakfast, whether they qualify or not. That expansion is now including 22 of our schools. And so that's a big, big celebration for the paperwork that we got put into place when the federal government changed the regulations for that. The second one was the beginning of our strategic plan core group leadership is starting to meet, and we're working on what would be our next strategic plan for the next 3 to 5 years. And thanking the group that's getting it. There's about 16 people on that group. And then an update on bargaining and the fact that we are working hard with both OSEA and BEA membership to try to get those tied up. We had before the end of January. We have 2 dates in session, January 19th and 22nd for BEA. And we have 1 date right now, January 16th with OSEA, and 3 more dates proposed. We're going to get those dates tied up and get those things finished. And then the board chair report, Chair Barnes-Delakia just also wanted to celebrate CEP and the fact that our students are getting a shot at the free lunch. Also talked a little bit about meetings they're having with legislators in the region and how those meetings can help us get a little more dialed in on how best to influence work for the school district through the work at the state. And so good conversation there. And last but not least, just a shout out from her about the Impact of Healthy Schools partnership that we have with the county, and the district and the county partner to fund that, and how what it does is bring in county experts, county public health experts, and brings them into our high schools across the district, and how that access is actually providing significant impact for our students in the community, and the work that we're trying to promote and the county's trying to promote through the access of public health. And then a few comments from our board, and we adjourned at 7:55. And so that's your update. We'll be back here next month for our February update. Thanks for paying attention and staying tuned.